And welcome back to a new episode of Greifenhorst, my fantasy medieval let's play in heavily modded Minecraft. Now, in the last episode, we spent a considerable amount of time to set up our enchanting infuser. Actually, we set up the advanced enchanting infuser, and now I have free reign as to how I enchant my goodies or de-enchant them or whatever. But the point is that now I am geared for success, or I will be, right? I'll take the gear I have and actually swap it out and then start enchanting it properly. Now, when I say that I'm going to take the gear I have and swap it out, I mean that I'm going to take full advantage of the epic knights and armor mod, right? And I spent some time looking at the various designs, and I kind of chose the default knight armor, so that's what we'll build for myself here. But first, I gathered quite a bit of netherrack when I was in the nether, trying to get the netherite scrap to get the enchanting infuser, the advanced enchanting infuser, up and running. So yeah, I need to make a storage drawer for that and drop off some other stuff. Yes, I haven't forgotten about our more full-time storage solution. It's in the cards, it's on the way, but I would really like to get these bits of armor made and mostly enchanted. There's no way I have enough levels to get a fully enchanted kit this time around, but yeah, that's kind of gonna set me up for the rest of the series. So I don't know how much iron I'll need, but I do know that I'm gonna have to take this iron and I'm gonna have to smelt it, but I think specifically I have to smelt it in a blast furnace, right? Yep. Or I could use the create mod to blast it, but we're not using create mod that way in this series. So a blast furnace it is, which is I think it's a furnace and 5 iron. So let's see. Right, and then you put the furnace here and you surround it with the iron, and nope, I'm missing something. Oh, smooth stone. Okay, we can do that. Sure. Take these conveniently located 3 stone and make them into 3 smooth stone. And the blast furnace was supposed to blast. Oh yeah, I'm making the blast furnace. So we're not blasting it. It's been a long day. Very, very long day. Now it looks like to make the steel plates, I don't lose any material. So 2 ingots become 2 smooth steel plates. But the problem I have is that you have to make them 2 at a time. So if I need an odd number of plates, I'm going to have a leftover plate. So it's quite possible I'll have some leftover steel when this is all over. I don't like that. It's messy. And, by now I'm sure you kind of caught on. I don't like messy. I say that, and you look at my storage solution right now. It is definitely messy, which I'm not quite going to claim it keeps me up at night, but every time I get back in this world, it gives me a little bit of a headache. So, but we'll get to it. We will get to it. So I'll use these leftover coal And we will steelify 8 iron ingots at a time. So this is like the basic helmet on which we will build the knight's helmet. So 3 ingots and 2 plates. So that's pretty straightforward. Okay, that's all cooked. And we'll just cook the rest of that. And let's see, so 3 ingots and 3 plates. Problem is, oh, it was 3 ingots and 2 plates. But I'm going to need more plates anyway, so. So while I'm waiting for that to cook, I can go ahead and make some bookshelves, because we have the enchanting infuser and it has the same enchanting requirements as the enchantment table as far as bookshelves go. Same placement, same number, but I don't have any. Now, if you remember, way back in the early in the series, I found that lighthouse and it was chock-a-block full of bookshelves, and I harvested those. Unfortunately, you don't get the bookshelf, you get the book. So I have a stack or more of books, and now I need to pay attention to what I'm doing. I think that's the right number, right? So 22 times 4 is 88 on top of what I had. 15, 15, 15. There we go. So what do we got? So I got ingots and plates. Oh my. So the basic helmet, a barboot, and then the armet. Okay, so what's that? Hull armor? Half armor. Okay. And then I'm gonna need more plates. I'm out of plates. It's important to know your plates. This is the second time I'm making plates, so these are second plates. Okay, now we need leggings, night leggings. They're nothing but plates, and of course it's an odd number total. So they're killing me here. They're killing me. Let's see if that'll be enough. Maybe it's enough to get the shoes too. Okay. Not quite. And of course, it's an even number, but I already have 1, so I'm going to have a leftover plate. Just need to cook one real fast. So I wasn't as much leftovers as I thought it would be. Okay, this is a blast furnace, and it is blasting, so that's good. And let's get these iron zapatos, and we're all set. Not quite a dignified pose, but definitely looks armored. So there's a decoration you can get, like you see on the back of this helmet. It's like this kind of feathered crest. I'm trying to figure out how to make that. 40 pages. Jeez Louise. Okay. Let's see. Epic decoration. There it is. Big plume decoration. A red wool and a feather. I wonder if I can do a color other than red wool. Well, I don't have any feathers, so it's kind of academic at the moment. But we'll look into it, check into that again. I do think I would just the bare armor is not gonna cut it. I don't think. I'm sitting here holding 45 bookshelves, so let's put these away. Okay. And the enchanting power is 15, which is maximum. So we're good to go there. Now it just matters what do we put at. Now the head and the feet have the most interesting options. So obviously we'll check. We'll put mending on everything. That's my base. That's my baseline. Because I don't want to have to remake this stuff. There it is, legs. Now, I've gone on the record many times before, but I'll go on the record again that the vanilla enchanting mechanics are borderline criminal. I mean, they take tedious, they capitalize it, not just the word, every letter, and put it in glowing letters, right? That are like 10 miles tall and can be seen from orbit. So, yes, I'm not a huge fan of that mechanic. And the enchantment infuser is perhaps an overcompensation in the other direction. But, I mean, come on, man. For 13 years, I've been doing it the vanilla way. And, at first my hair turned gray and then it fell out. And you've seen the pictures. Or maybe you haven't. I don't know. But, I don't have any hair. So, now you know where it went. The enchanting infuser is a godsend. Because I'm not in this world to play the enchantment lotto. I'm in this world to get things done. So I just need the gear and then I need to move on. And now we have the ability to reabsorb my old equipment, recover materials, and make a much better sword. Now I made armor from the mod. The mod actually has a number of weapons. A lot. Some of them are great looking. I haven't quite latched on to any of those yet. So for now, I will take a trusty dusty diamond sword, but I will enchant the snot out of it. So let's see. We got to get with the mending. Gotta have the mending. So sweeping edge, vorpal, and sharpness. Those are the three main enchants I'm after. But there's some other goodies in here like looting. Right? And soulbound would be useful so that I don't lose it when I die. Unbreaking will take some of the emphasis off of mending. And sharpness can get me up to 4. 5! Okay. Sold. So that's not quite fully enchanted, but that's surprisingly close. So that sword is going to open up a world of hurt on somebody. And I'll be honest. I'm ready to use it on somebody. It's been a really obnoxious week. So yeah, a really obnoxious week. I guess it's a good news, bad news thing in that you'll be seeing more of me here, probably more than you would normally. But I think everything happens for a reason. So I think it's time for bigger and better things, and that's good news for the channel. I didn't realize that my I didn't realize the handle of the sword was buttered. So I didn't realize the field was all messed up like this. I can't tell you what happened, but I think these fields that aren't plowed were still organic compost. They hadn't quite cured into rich farmland. But they are now. So let's go ahead and set these up for success. There we go. And then we'll plant our freshly harvested wheat seeds to accelerate this along. Okay. Baby steps. Baby steps forward, baby steps to the door, baby steps to the car. So part of what I'm doing here is we need more organic matter for creating rich farmland anyway. But if you notice, unlike... Oh, I need to put a mage light in here to keep this thawed. That's a little trick there. Anyway, I need to do these harvests, and as you can see, I'm gaining experience from them. So I will use this to help fuel further enchantments. And I see there's some messed up farming tiles here, probably from the merchant and his crew doing jumping jacks on my fields. It's not particularly appreciated. I mean, he's a good guy, but he, especially the llamas, knows how to overstay a welcome sometimes. And of course, some guests are more polite than others, and doing jumping jacks out in the middle of your field is, well, not cool. Ooh, I lost this whole corner. Anyway, that should take care of that for a little bit. I think I have more wheat seeds that we can plop down here. I think I have enough is probably a better thing to say. Or not. Or not. Boy, carrots. I really do like carrots. I think I like cooked carrots and I like raw carrots. I think the part that really caught me off guard, especially as a kid, is as a kid you're not really tuned to vegetables because you want the big flavor payoff, right? Kool-Aid or something. You want sweet, you want strong flavors. And vegetables generally don't have that, right? Vegetables are the type of thing that adults are more likely to eat, or like to eat. But I got hooked on to carrots early on. I don't remember if it was my mom or my dad that showed me that. I'm talking like I was 5 years old when I learned this. But the structure of a carrot, there's an inner layer and an outer layer, right? And we're not talking about the skin of the carrot. Yeah, there's a skin. No. When we're talking about the body of the carrot, there's like an inner core and an outer core. And most people don't they just eat a carrot like you see in a Bugs Bunny cartoon, right? Just, you know, chomp off a big end of it and, you know, chew it down. But this inner and outer core, you can actually separate, right? And if I'm not in a hurry, or eating those pre-made carrot sticks at the store, I will go ahead and nibble away that outer core. You can, if you can get it started, you can actually pull it off, right? And then you can see, and the inner core, you can separate it. And then I eat the outer core, which is kind of tasteless and woody, and then I eat the inner core, which is sweet. I mean, literally sweet. I mean, not candy kite sweet, but it can be very, very tasty. I know we're talking about something sweet, but you can savor the flavor. So it's not savory, it's sweet. And then when I see these shriveled, dried up carrots, they are part of the new, what do we call them? The numinaries, the newhoos, the whatever, the NPC character race, which is none too friendly, but they use those carrots to feed their version of pigs, which are big and kind of wrinkly, but apparently they make good eating. So the carnivore in me is excited about that. Okay, knockback, it's useful. Don't really want leech, but fire aspect, yes please. Looting, sweeping edge, all the way, baby. And reactive, you can have a chance to fire a spell. I'm not going to do that. We're just going to have a fully tricked out sword. Now I still got 13 experience levels, so well, there's protection, but insight. So insight helps you generate more experience when you earn experience. It's like an experience bonus. So, and it's only, you can only put it on the helmet. So I just put it on the helmet. Look at that. I was able to get in full mana boost and full mana regen. And soulbound. And we'll do respiration. Can't afford 3 levels, but 2 levels. So that'll keep us underwater a bit longer. Again, it's not fully enchanted to the hilt, but that's pretty darn good. And and so that my mana went up, right? So let's take this off. So it's 255 without the helmet, and if I put the enchanted helmet back on, you can see it bounces up to 330 is my max. Plus, I have the recharge enchantment, level 3. So, hey, whoa! That just scared the living snot out of me. Yeah. Yeah, guy almost tested my new sword right on his forehead. Oh, geez. Anyway, what was we talking about? Oh, mana regen. So, I had the mana regen 3 on there, so I should be able to recoup mana much faster than I was before. And I can put those enchantments on the other armor pieces as well. So when I get this set fully tricked out, I was going to say I'll be a magic using fool, but I kind of am a magic using fool. At least the fool part. Magic using is relatively recent, but I'll be a bigger magic using fool. How about that? More magic-y goodness to the magic-y goodness I got. Magic-y gooder, better, more good, more magic-y. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll be sitting pretty. Let's see. I don't know if I haven't harvested enough seeds to have excess strawberry seeds up to this point, so man, this is a mess. I'm getting a headache behind my eyes looking at it. We'll get this sorted out. There will be a day when we'll look back on these episodes and people's like, how could you live like that? And it's like, it wasn't easy. this is the moment that, this is my walk uphill both ways to school moment in this series, right? These first series, and then eventually we'll get it to the point where it's just like, blink and everything happens. And I'll tell you about the stories of how much of a pain in the butt it was to harvest and such, and you're like, really? It sounds made up. It's not. If you just spend enough time on the planet in the game, just doing something, you will accumulate interesting stories. That's just the way it works, right? Unless you had parents that would basically, wrap you in bubble wrap and lock you in the closet so that nothing bad could possibly happen to you. But if you're my age, though such parents didn't really exist. They are a dime a dozen nowadays. But in my day, parents would basically kick you out of the house. Not like kick you out of the house so you have to go rent a place, but kick you out of the house like it's a beautiful day, go outside. I don't want to see you here until dinner, be back by dark. So, kids my age, and I guess I can say kids my age because some of us never have fully grown up. Kids are my generation. We were kind of feral. That's, just get out of here. I don't want to see you underfoot. It's like, okay. And off we went. I remember after I met Eric, I met Eric at D&D Club, and he was my best friend. And where we lived was a relatively young part of the city. It was like 10 years old. The housing developments were all still pretty new, and but the freeway ran right through it, and underneath the freeway, on one side of the freeway was hills, the other side wasn't hills, it went off down toward the ocean. So under the freeway there were these storm drains, right, that would go under the freeway, carry rainwater from one side to the other. But they were big enough that you could easily walk. Some of them were big enough that you could walk two guys side by side. And I remember once we discovered those, we went back and I had this little scrap metal looking owl votive tea lantern, right? So it was in the shape of an owl made out of what appeared to be scrap sheet metal, designed to be a lantern, but not really a lantern, right? It's just a little decorative knick-knack that you can put a votive candle in. But for us, being D&Ders and wanting to go on an actual D&D adventure, that was our lantern. And we had some swords that I had gotten from a garage sale. First of all, these swords were purely for decoration. They're just made out of pot metal. They weren't designed to actually be used in any practical way. And in fact, I got them at the garage sale for like $1 because apparently somebody, my guess is somebody had tried to use them like a sword, some kid probably, and they were both broke off at the hilt, right? The idea was that you would cross these swords on your wall, right? They looked like swords, but it didn't matter to us. I mean, I got them for $1, and then we used super glue to barely hold the blade onto the hilt. So we looked the part, kind of, but and of course we had our belts on, our capes, rope, all this type of shit. So then that's what we were equipped with to venture underneath the freeway. I think we were 12. Oh, here. Now look at that. You remember in my From the Rubble episode, we saw a zombie goblin, and he came ripping at me like a little guided torpedo. This one, he's just out there clearing his throat, confusing the snot out of me. But other than that, he's perfectly happy to live and let live. So I will return the favor. But we were, going underneath after we went underneath the freeway with those storm drains, we started looking for other storm drains to find. Right now, there's lots of storm drains that are really more like just culverts, right? I mean, they're like a foot wide. So yeah, we're not going to go on that. But there were a surprising number that were like 4, 6, 8 feet wide that we would go in. And San Diego, right? If you've ever been to San Diego, it's a pretty dry climate. So the people would say, well, what if you got a flash flood? Well, let me tell you, we know because we didn't get rain that often, right? And if there's rain, we wouldn't be running around in the culverts or the storm drains. We'd be running around outside looking at all this water coming out of the air because it's amazing. But so we weren't worried about that type of thing. But there were some interesting other storm drains we found. We found another one that was on the other side of the freeway. So we had to go through a storm drain to get to the storm drain that was behind a Kmart, a little strip mall with a Kmart in it. And that one was interesting because it was in the bottom of a little valley. I don't know why they would put a storm drain in the bottom of a little river valley or canyon when clearly that's where the water would go anyway, but that's what they did. And this one was interesting because when you're standing at the edge of it, it was actually quite long. I think it was like 400 or 500 feet long. But when you're standing at the end of it looking in, it looks, especially on a sunny day, it looks pitch black inside. And the reason is, it wasn't long enough that you shouldn't be able to see the other end, except that it kind of did it like a 30 or 40 degree angle halfway in the middle. So when we went exploring this thing, first we had to navigate the entrance. And classic role play adventure shenanigans, obstacles. Hold on. I need dirt. I need dirt to make rich dirt. Yep. I got everything else. Anyway, in this case, that second, there we go. I needed my spell book. Okay. Get the dirt. There we go. And then I can make rich soil. It's shapeless recipe. I mean, I used to get all geometric in how I do it, but I'm not really paying that close attention to what I'm doing, so I'm yakking. There you go. Put the dirt back. Anyway, in this particular storm drain behind the Kmart, it was round, right? So it was round, and it was, I'd say, maybe 5 feet in circumference, right? 5 feet in diameter, not circumference. It'd be way too small. 5 feet in diameter. And because this one was on the downhill side, there had been some water, apparently some water recently. So that end silted up, so you didn't have the full 5 feet, right? It was partially closed off. And at the time that we found it, there was actually quite a bit of water there. So if you were trying to get in there without getting wet, you had to straddle your legs at a pretty wide angle, one on each side of the puddle, and then work your way in. And so we did, right? And then when we were working our way toward the middle, you have to really kind of feel your way forward, because that owl votive lantern sucked as a light source. It absolutely bit. But anyway, so then when we got to the middle, apparently somebody had ditched a shopping cart in the middle of it. So we banged ourselves up pretty bad because, we got to the point where we're thinking, oh, this is not so bad. We kind of pick up speed and, some run into a shopping cart that's laying on its side in the canyon. Now, all of that is important because this is the prelude to something that I am still apologetic about. I'm really sorry about. But, in a group of friends, you have a friend that you kind of pick on sometimes, or usually it's the one you pick on. We had a friend like that. I won't use his name, but he was the guy we usually picked on. And after we'd found all this stuff and made the discovery, we told him about some of it. And we said, hey, this adventure, you want to go with us? Because he's part of our D&D group. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. So we're geared up. And we took him through the first storm tunnel underneath the freeway. And he was pretty digging it, right? He was really, really happy about that. And then we get him to the entrance of the one behind the Kmart, right? The one that with the flooded entrance I told you about that you got to straddle. And then I can name this puppy. And there you go. Yeah, it's not original, but by golly, if I'm going to be a spellcaster of a kick-butt sword, I want it to have a good lineage. Now we need to make a smoker because to get the green dye I want, I'm going to have to get it from tea leaves, green tea leaves. This is the same thing that I ran into from the rubble, right? And to get the green tea leaves, I need to shear flowers. That's what I discovered, right? So all I need to do is find some flowers. Vanilla flowers will do fine. And shear them. There's a dandelion and a couple poppies. So shear, nope. Shear, nope. And it's not a perfect science. Sooner or later, I don't want the grass. Yep. So we'll plant the grass. Okay, let's see. More flowers. So we get to the Kmart storm drain, and like I said, it's flooded at the end, and you have to kind of straddle the water to get over it. So Eric went first, straddled, clears it. I went next, straddled, cleared it, and then our buddy straddled it. And as he's gonna get whacked, I'm telling you. Well, what? That's it. I got one amaranth. Well, that's not gonna mow it for me. Oh, that works better. Plop the water on top. So try it again. Another amaranth. This is not working as well as I thought it would. From the Aether. So I have a mod that basically will give you random flowers. If it's in the game, in your game, regardless of mod, and classified as a flower, then it has an equal chance of being spawned when you do bone meal like this. Though I'm wondering if that doesn't kind of mess with the chance of flowers at all. I mean, I'm getting a lot of weird flowers here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get my tea leaves from these things. Which is kind of annoying. So oh, come on. Okay, let's dump off my Mother's Day bouquet assortment. That's a nice one. Pink hibiscus. That doesn't look like a hibiscus, really, but it does look nice. That is from Biome So Plenty. Can I make seeds with this? Nope. can make poppies. So let's grow some poppies. I got an idea though. Let's grow some daffodils. I mean, it starts with a D. Dandelions. Uh-oh. I'm kind of out of storage space here. So hold on to that thought. Daffodils instead of dandelions. Yes. I mean, I can be a moron sometimes, but just for the record, I'm not a complete moron. Just a partial moron. Okay, let's go plant some. So this will help, right? So, you know, you don't have... Ooh. Let's shear this. Nope. We'll make some seeds for this stuff, too. Get in the flower biz. It's not where it was supposed to go, but I'll go with it. There we go. Put away the excess grass seeds. And we might as well plant this in the what's now becoming my flower garden, I guess. So I had an idea. If I can take the vanilla flowers and just put them back down, and then re-shear them. Basically, I'm waiting for the mechanic to trigger. Now, the green tea is from the Let's Do Herbal mod. And I have no idea why you would get tea from harvesting flowers with shears. But we got it. And that's all that counts. So, let's plant our tea here. Nice. And... okay. And then, ow, bit my butt. Okay. Oh, that's the actual tea leaves. That's what I want. But these blossoms is what we want to plant. Now, maybe somebody can explain to me how or why shearing flowers, not just the same flower, but diverse flowers like poppies and dandelions, with shears will produce tea leaves or tea blossoms. I'd love somebody to explain that to me. So now what I want to do is I want to take the green tea leaves and we'll smoke them to make green dye, and then we will finish making a green banner with a heraldic design on it that I will then use as a surcoat on my armor, because right now I just look like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz, and it's too much gray. So let's see if I can color this banner with my green dye, and apparently not. I thought you could color a banner, but I guess you have to color the wool and then make the banner out of the colored wool in the first place. That's certainly how it appears. Green banner. Yep, that's what it is. Okay, good to know. Yep, I'm gonna need 6 wool, which means I'm gonna have to use up all 6 of my green dye. No, can't spare any. Wow, I thought if you put in a block or planks, that would smoke 1.5 items. It didn't smoke hardly any. Well, I'm tempted to just be inefficient here and just say go for it. Right? It won't do a full 8 items, but we'll see. Okay, so I got... The smoker's not smoking. I mean, it's working, but not fast. Anyway, so there we were. We were in the storm drain, and our friend was straddling that entrance, you know, with water between his legs, and that's when we took off and ran. And he heard us, and that's when we heard the splash behind us. Right? He basically tried to take off after us, and he went sploosh in the water. Now again, this is the same tunnel that had a shopping cart at the bend, and we knew it was there, so we didn't kill ourselves when we got to it. We were feeling for it, and we worked our way around it, and then kept pressing on and out the exit. Our friend was not so lucky, and when he hit it, he hit it hard. This is typical of the kind of cruel stuff kids do to each other, right? Especially guys. And by the time he came out, I want this stripe right here, a black stripe, just like that. And then I got to take off my breastplate and then put it in the crafting grid with the banner. And this should, there we go. There we go. So, anyway, so when he came out of the storm drain, he was muddy, bloody, and really angry. And, you know, because this is what young men think is funny to do to each other. And he was looking for us. He couldn't find us because we had gone up to the lip of the canyon, the rim of the canyon, and we were hiding behind some bushes watching him as he came out. And we were going to say something, but he looked like he was going to kill somebody. So we said, maybe, just maybe, that wasn't such a good idea. And maybe, just maybe, he didn't embrace the spirit of this little prank. And maybe, just maybe, we don't want to deal with him in this state. So we slunk away and worked our way back to my house because I live closest to all this. So we were back at my house. I think we were playing Monopoly or something. And like an hour later, there's a knock on my door. And there he is with the dried mud and the blood. And he'd cooled down, which showed that even though when we were morons, we had at least a tiny bit of wisdom in our thinking. And he wasn't laughing yet. Let's just put it that way. But he calmed down enough that he wasn't going to try to kill us. What happened to all my carrots? Oh, I'm wondering, when I was pouring water on the weeds up there, I wonder if they flowed down here and dislodged my carrots and they despawned. Well, that's okay. Carrots are like Doritos. They'll make more. But anyway, that's just a weird little memory I had. Yeah. So normally this would mean that there's a mob wearing an upgraded, sophisticated backpack, but I've come to believe that that's not the case, that there's a bug between that mod and some other mod. We call that an unexpected application interaction. But the bottom line is it's a bug, and I'm sure if you got the mod developers from each team together, they would both accuse the other. But I mean, this is the fun of modding, right? Or modded Minecraft. Yeah, you never know what you're going to deal with. Anyway, so yes, that was one of the mean things that we did in our youth. And that was the right age, right? That's I think I explained this once in a similar vein. Eric and I had a friend named Michael, and another Michael, and he he came from a weird family. His mom was Japanese, his dad was American, and these kids were absolutely spooky brilliant. But they exhibited it in the weirdest ways imaginable. And Michael had spent some time in their garage, and he had created a chain and plate mail glove. A gauntlet is what it was. And, you know, a gauntlet that covered your entire forearm, right? So your hand and your forearm. And it was beautifully engineered. I mean, at this point, we're like, I don't know, 15, 16. Anyhow, he had this gauntlet. It was beautifully engineered, fully articulated. He gave it to Eric, handed it to Eric, says, hey, put this on, try it out, see how you like it. And Eric put it on, and he was wiggling his fingers and stuff and go, this is amazing. Now, what he didn't realize is that behind Michael's back was a baseball bat. And so while Eric is holding up his arm, marveling at the design and the freedom of motion in this plate gauntlet on his arm, Michael came around with that baseball bat and just whacked the living dog snot out of Eric's arm wearing the gauntlet. Which, you know, my eyes were big, his eyes were big. Michael's eyes weren't that big. He knew it was coming. But the amazing thing is after we got over the initial shock, Eric started laughing because, I mean, obviously it dropped his arm like a sack of potatoes, but essentially he was unhurt. It really worked. Again, stupid things that boys do. So, and you know, the classic response to these things, right? Because if you're a parent and you have teenagers, I mean, most people listening to this were probably already teenagers, but see, they're probably going to be biased, right? They'll say, "I never did anything like that." Yeah, right. I know I did, and I know that 20 years ago I would have said I didn't. So there you go. But if you're a parent of teenagers or have been a parent of teenagers, you know they do stuff like this, and then when you ask them, why did you do that? The classic response, if they're speaking to you, is I don't know. Or it's shrugged shoulders if they're not speaking to you, right? So, which has got to be just maddening. You know, I guess what it boils down to, it seemed like a good idea at the time. It's just that when you're young, there's lots of stuff that seems like a good idea at the time that, you know, 10 years, 15, 20 years later, with the scars and the broken bones to prove it, you know, older people are going, are you insane? Are you nuts? Which is how you get helicopter parents, because they know what they did as kids. And while you're saying, hey, I can take care of myself, which is exactly the same thing we said in our day, and then we did something that absolutely proved ourselves wrong. But, you know, we've kind of gone overboard to the point where, you know, parents talk about, you know, all the child napping and stuff. Well, I get it. I understand the emotion behind it, but if you look at the facts, kidnapping is way down in this country, which is even more amazing when to consider the population has gone way up. So, you know, your kid getting hit by a car is much more likely than being kidnapped by some guys offering candy out of the back of a van. That being said, I know that my kids are the most valuable thing in my life, so I don't take any chances with them. I mean, yeah. So, on the one hand, I'm going to berate parents for being helicopter parents, but on the other, I understand what they're thinking, because we've had those discussions too. So, I get it. Anyway. I don't know how I got stuck going down memory lane like that, but yep. This is the same kid that we were goofing around on our bikes. He had broken his arm and he had a brand new cast. So we're riding our bikes, and Eric was riding in front of him. I was riding behind him, and what was happening, Eric was slowing down and trying to rub his back tire on this guy's front tire. And I was riding behind him trying to rub my front tire on his back tire because we're trying to get him to crash. Because that's, again, the stupid thing that kids try to do. He did crash, but because we were going at a fairly decent clip, when he hit, he landed on his cast, and he slid, I don't know, 15, 20 feet on the cast, which kind of wore away this big notch in his cast. So at that point, we're all like, "Ooh, man!" So we went back to his house and grabbed some snacks. Because again, you do stuff like this to each other as your friends, as kids, as young males, right? You can only imagine what young males would want to do to their enemies, because this is what we do to our friends, right? But we're watching TV, and he's hiding his cast under his pillow. But his mom's like, "Why are you hiding your arm under the pillow?" "Oh, nothing. Let me see your arm." Yeah, we got kicked out of the house, and we could hear her screaming at him for the next block and a half as we walked away. But so I know there's a pillager tower over here. I know this is a bad neighborhood. Nope, there's a jailed allay. Ooh, look at all the goodies. We'll come back to that. I just need to deal with the pillager issue first. Let's make room for the goodies since nobody's attacking me at the moment. Oh, I hear him. Here he comes. Here, one comes. And let's see. Whoa. So I can launch a full spread, and look at how fast it restores. Nice. Yeah, I'm going to leave the allay in there for now. I will delay the rescue of the allay. Yeah, take that. You guys are bringing crossbows to a magic fight. I got photons to spare. Well, this has gone so well, let's just check out the tower. So they really need some decorations in this place. And lights. Use some lights in here. Batter up. Oh gosh. Oh, I got some type of mirror looking thing and a smithing template. Got all sorts of weird goodies in here. Don't know if I have corn. Magic mirror, use of the wormhole ability. Didn't even know there was a wormhole ability. Both these, okay. Nice view from here. We can cut that leather helmet for scrap leather. And mosey on out of here. We can light up this place too. That was a song, very popular song in the late 70s. By Juice Newton, I think it was. You Light Up My Life? Or was, no. That wasn't Juice Newton. Who was that? It was like it was a daughter of a famous singer, I think. I don't remember who though. If I can figure it out, I will put it on the show notes on the web page. The episode web page. Oh, it was Pat Boone's kid. What's her name? Nancy Boone? Pretty sure that it was a boon, kid. Boon or bust? Okay, I'll have to look that up. Yep, that was a big. Holy. Ugh. Lost track of the vendors running around here. So that gave us a whole block of iron, which is nice. It almost gave us a block of leather. So that's pretty much the bulk of this episode. I mean, except for the fact that we were able to make out better gear and to give it a baptism under fire. That's what we did. Yeah. Did a test run, which was very successful, I might add. So what did we learn? We learned that the swords kick butt. Okay. And we learned that my photon ability is basically through the roof. I mean, I can fire everything I got, and within 5 seconds, I'm ready to go again. So that's pretty impressive. And we haven't fully enchanted the entire suit yet, right? I mean, I've got 15 levels now. So go with the feet, because there's interesting stuff here, right? So we got the depth strider, yeah, and thorns. Well, I think that's it for the feet. So fully enchanted helmet, fully enchanted feet. Now we just add these other bits, right? I still got 6 levels left. So let's see. So protection would be good. And that's 6 levels. So there you go. So it was a productive day, because I think I'm now I wouldn't say I'm completely uber, but I'm a good 70-80% of where I could be, and that's enough to get stuff done. And look at that. That is a fine looking ensemble. So I truly am geared for success. So I like to thank you for joining me on today's adventure, listening to my rambling, and I hope you return to the next episode, where I really do need to make some progress on our magical automation systems and storage. So until then, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.